Hi, everybody. Coming to you. It's 2:40 in the afternoon on this Thursday. So 2:40 right now. Metro temperature is 40. I think it's 41 in Salem, 41 degrees, rain cooled. 45 in Portland, rain cooled. So my point is, temperatures are absolutely running 20 degrees colder this afternoon than the 66-degree high we had back on Wednesday. I want to get to the cold air because that's the big story, but real quick because I didn't talk to you yesterday. This was Camas Meadows Golf Course late in the afternoon. One of the black sky settings that we had with the thunderstorms that erupted. So that forecast Wednesday turned out to be good. We absolutely had showers mid-afternoon popping over the Coast Range, migrating into the valley. A handful of those produced thunder. I mean, we had thunderstorms reported in Lynn County, Marion County, Multnomah, Clark County, even some storm reports out in the gorge. We had hail the size of dimes. And one thing yesterday that triggered it was the instability. I'd forecasted 62. We hit 66. And you start to see this, especially in the spring. You can see it in the summer too. But the air mass yesterday, every air mass supports with some level of stability a certain temperature. And if you get above that, if sunshine drives you above what that potential temperature is, then you become increasingly unstable. Yesterday, the air mass really did not want to support anything above 62. We shot to 66, and boy, did that chance of a few thunderstorms really develop, and that was a big key factor in that. Anyway, different story today, right? Different story today. The 20-degree cool-off. And if you've lived here for a while, you know we don't see this often. One day here, the next day 20 degrees colder. That's more of a Midwest thing. We don't get it that often, right? Here's the satellite setup. The front has passed. I'm going to show you declining or lowering snow levels in a moment. So the frontal band gave us that steady rain we had around noon and early afternoon. That's passed. Now the rain's starting to break up, but radar is showing not only showers continuing into this evening, but heavy rain pockets coming through. And now that the much colder air has moved in, it heightens the chance that some downpours, even with lack of sun, could produce some hail. So we could have that yet today. So see the little kind of speckled cloud pattern on the infrared satellite picture? From the Gulf of Alaska, this little wedge or thumbnail of air is the chilly air mass out of the Gulf that's now moving into our area. And it is unstable air. We're going to continue to see the threat of heavy rain or heavy showers at times. And as we get even colder and colder, we'll not only have the chance of hail, but some grapple. That's when you get those little ice pellets, that snowflakes and raindrops kind of combining that you can get in these winter precipitation modes, especially when you've got ground temperatures near freezing, which we're going to have later tonight, and precipitation in the area. But that really shows the little thumb or kind of wedge, if you will, of the cold air that's now starting to move in to our area on the satellite picture. Winter storm warnings are up now for the Coast Range right here and the Cascades right here. Still looks like maybe a foot of snow at pass level, and if you count what's falling now all the way through Saturday morning, maybe up to 20 inches when you get to 5,000 and 6,000 feet. May not be quite that high, but it's a decent dump of snow. The Coast Range 6 to 12 around 1,000 feet and higher. That looks reasonable. And then 3 to 6 inches potentially at lower elevations in the hills as well. Courtesy KGW TV for this graphic. It's a little bit more colorful than the one I could grab off of the internet from the National Weather Service website. All right, the Coast Range. At noon today, this showed snow in the air, and it showed temperatures down to 34 degrees. So Highway 26 out in the Coast Range has actually bounced up a little bit since the precip has tapered down for the time being. They've warmed up, but they've already seen some snow. I just grabbed these, so these are current as of 2:40, 2:45. That's snow in the air at the 1,400 foot level on Highway 26 and zigzag rhododendron going up to Mount Hood. So that tells you that the snow level now is down to around that 1,500 foot snow level in terms of snow in the air. And then this was nice and clean midday. Now we've got snow cover developing. Temperatures are plummeting. They're down to 28 degrees on Mount Hood up at Government Camp. So obviously with the winter storm warnings in place through Saturday morning for both the Coast Range and the Cascades, travelers will want to check conditions and just be prepared and assume that there's a likelihood you'll find some snow. These Cascade passes will absolutely become snow covered and stay that way tomorrow. The Coast Range, I really think it's pretty likely, certainly tomorrow morning, that we have solid snow cover over Highway 6 and Highway 26. And the other ones could be kind of back and forth, but you'll want to check live cameras and conditions if you're traveling over the Coast Range. I've got the live Coast Range cameras on my Coast page on my weather site, portlandweather.com. I've got the Cascade Pass cameras on my Mount Hood page, again, on my weather site, portlandweather.com. You can also get that through the app. Just search Portland Weather in the App Store and it will come up. Okay, so snow levels going to be down to 1,200 feet, I think, by early evening. So we're already down to around 1,400 feet, so that's going to happen. And then I really haven't changed the forecast hardly at all since I last talked to you. So I'm going to stick, oops, I got a typo there. It should be FRI for Friday, obviously. I'm going to stick with that 500-foot snow level for Friday and Saturday. But understand, in the early morning hours, it's at least possible that we have sticking snow with temperatures around 32, 33, all the way down to sea level. During the day, the sticking snow is probably going to be above 500 feet, and it may not even be uniform at 1,000. We've seen a lot of these days. It's now spring, but back in the winter seasons, we saw a lot of these days, if you remember. During the day, there were some areas that it was above freezing at 1,000 feet and no snow, while other metro hills had some light accumulations. In the early morning hours, we have at least a threat of some sticking snow in parts of the Willamette Valley, but nothing widespread. So that's what we're dealing with again Friday into Saturday. Sunday is the quieter day. Now, by Sunday, most of the precipitation is over. We're going to get into sun breaks, just a few scattered showers. Snow levels Sunday go back up to 1,500 feet. And on Monday, that's a 3,000-foot snow level, as we're totally out of this particular episode. But we're still looking at temperatures to start next week, Oregon spring break, below normal. And quite a bit of below normal, at least for the first couple of days. Okay, let's move on. What are we looking at here? All right, again, courtesy KGW TV. This is their Futurecast model. This is tomorrow morning at 8:30. So the blue is snow, the green is rain, the bright colors are like heavy showers. It could produce some hail potentially, right? So this shows 8:30 in the morning. You wouldn't expect this to be exactly right, but the pattern overall is right. Broken areas of precipitation or showers. This shows mostly snow showers in the I-5 corridor. It does show a little bit of the mix up in Washington and Multnomah County into Portland, also up in the Longview, but it shows all snow down in the Salem area. So I think the reality is early Friday morning and again early Saturday morning, most of what we're going to see passing through the area in the air will be snow. But I just don't think we really have a possibility of any widespread freezing temperatures or low elevations. Could be some spots, but most of us are going to be holding more like 34, 35, 36. So that would be really very limited, if any, issues in terms of traveling at the lowest elevations. But stick with me. Let's see here. So again, with that snow level that I talked about, 500 feet, could be a little bit lower, a little bit higher during the day. On average, low elevations both Friday morning and again Saturday morning for that matter, 34 to 38. But if you live in elevation at all, you've got a really good chance to at least at times, including the early morning hours, but even during the day, you have a really good chance tonight, Friday night, Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon of seeing some heavier showers produce some sticking snow. And if those showers are widespread enough and they move slowly enough, you can get an inch or two of snow, maybe a little bit more than that, sticking. And then even up in elevations toward 1,000 feet, you'd warm up above freezing during the day and it would melt off. But there could be periods of dicey time. You know, if you live out in Happy Valley and you got to come down the hill in parts of that area, out in Clackamas County, absolutely there could be some periods of time, especially early morning, where things are a little dicey and you do get down at 1,000 feet to freezing and roads are a little icy for a period of time. So understand that's going to be happening. The wind flows absolutely westerly. Right now, and I looked at this carefully, I don't really see a definite reason for cold air pooling at low elevations. That one day, I can't remember the date, but that one day where we had snow in the morning that was widespread from McMinnville to Salem to Dallas to Albany, there was like a dusting to 2 inches of snow. There was a low that was moving inland, and that was definitely a trigger for a cold pool of air in that part of the valley. Now, this is the upper level map for tomorrow morning, Friday the 14th. Notice the March 24th, I meant to say. 535 millibar height. The blue is the 540 line. So the polar jet stream is in southern Oregon. The main jet stream, 564, is all the way down to California. So my point is, we're absolutely in the cold sector. And what this shows you in these bright colors, what we call positive vorticity, it's little disturbances, little impulses in the atmosphere that can trigger precipitation. So notice we have a little fetch of that. But the low never really just comes inland, and I checked all the different levels of the atmosphere. I just don't think we have really good cold air forcing, which would tell me I like the fact that if you live in the lower elevations of the valley, odds are good that you'll stay above freezing. But if you factor out the morning lows and the afternoon highs, we're still looking at Friday and Saturday being some 10 to 12 degrees below normal mean temperature. That's what this map shows. -9, -11, -9, -13. You get over into southeastern Oregon, look at that. 17, that would average out to 18 degrees below normal when you combine the low and high. So that's really cold stuff. As cold as we can be this time of the year for the most part. So the normal high is 58 for tomorrow's date. My forecast is 45. The record cold high temperature tomorrow is 45. So if we don't make it to 45, then March 24th would go in the record books as the coldest afternoon or coldest high temperature that we will have seen for that particular date. So again, it's about as cold of a batch of air as you would ever see this time of the year. That's my main reason there. All right, winter storm warnings are up for the Cascades. We'll go 6 to 8 through tonight, 6 to 8 tomorrow into the night, 2 to 4 Saturday. Sunday we pull out of it. Little system Monday afternoon, maybe 1 to 2. Snow levels down to 500 to 1,000, 500 to 1,000 during the day, kind of what we talked about. Not a ton of wind. We had some gusty winds this morning when the front came through. It's mostly like west 10 to 20 miles per hour now through tomorrow. So we're in the 40s today. We're going to be 36 to 45 in Portland tomorrow, about the same on Saturday. You could make the case that there's a better chance of getting down to 32 degrees Saturday morning at the lowest elevations, but you would also make the case that there's not going to be as much precipitation Saturday morning. So again, I understand I could be wrong. We could be 31, 32 instead of 35, 36. We could have a good shot of heavier showers at the exact right time, and poof, anybody could get a little bit of snow on the ground, and your neighborhood could be, oh, it is kind of icy looking outside. So again, throwing it out there, you need to check conditions, especially early morning hours before you head out and see what's going on. Sunday, a little bit of a brighter, sunnier day, fewer showers, as I mentioned, 49. Monday morning could be dry, then showers in the afternoon. Tuesday's a shower chance, but not guaranteed. And then right now, I present Wednesday of next week, dry, partly cloudy, 63. Getting back to spring. All right, we'll see how much snow we get in the mountains, including the Coast Range. We'll see what the temperatures are Friday and Saturday morning. And if we have anything stick at low elevations, or if we just get a pretty shot of snow in the air. If you live in the Metro Hills, again, assume that at some point you will get at least some light snow accumulation covers. I'll talk to you soon.